Michael Connaughton. 5 minutes each.
Thanks, Cahir, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this matter. I want to congratulate the Minister for his initiative and to say that we need to be radical when it comes to education. I think far too often we've had a sense of Asher is grand about the education system, and therefore I think it's important that we do this. However, I would suggest that there's a huge gap between the political system and the staff room, and that gap is often filled with ill-informed media comment or ill-advised comment about what teachers do, about their pay structures, about their responsibilities. And my first point would be that in any reform package, anything that we're trying to achieve in education, it is impossible to do that without bringing teachers with us. And that disconnect, which I see far too often between the staff room and the political system, is something that we have to be wary of, we have to address, and we have to again empower teachers to implement the reform packages that we are proposing. I would say that it's so important to, as I say, bring teachers and students with us. And I have done a tour of my own constituency. I've spoken to students in Manor House in Raheny, in Holy Faith Clontarf and Holy Faith Leicester, in Chanel College in Coolock, in Dominican College in Drumcondra and Mount Temple. And I'm quite sure when I was speaking to them, they weren't sure whether I would actually address their concerns in Leinster House, but I'm doing so. And all those students which I wanted to speak to, because they were the ones who most recently did the junior cert, they were supportive of the 60-40 balance, but they did have concerns about the limited and restricted subject choice, which was the original proposal. And I think that has been addressed by the Minister, and I think that's welcome. But I also spoke to a number of school staffs about it, and I have to say I am slightly alarmed about the disconnect between the staff room and the political system. And when I talk to them about how they feel completely underappreciated. They feel the sense of disconnection, a sense of disempowerment, a sense of, again, of not being appreciated for the hard work that they do, and that reform packages come along, and again they're asked to drive them and be empowered by them, and yet they feel that their vital role in education is not being appreciated. Now, I asked them why they feel this. And yes, they do blame sometimes the department, but they also blame society, they blame media comment. So I would make this appeal to those who are concerned about education, to parents, to students, to anybody who feels strongly about the power of learning, and learning for learning's sake, which I believe is at the core of the new reform package, that you cannot ask a teacher to engage in this process if you strip away the very goodwill which every school runs on. Anybody who knows anything about education knows that schools run on goodwill. If you interfere with that sense of goodwill, well, then you effectively interfere with a lot. I'll talk about, just briefly, about what the staffs have said to me about their concerns. They're concerned about tampering with the relationship they cherish as advocates for their students. And the new assessment model is a concern for them. And they're also concerned about a potential dumbing down of the junior cert. Now, I don't agree with their sentiments, but I do agree that their sentiments are real. And if they feel that the new assessment model is going to change the vital relationship they have with their students as student advocates, for the students' advancement, and if they feel that there's a potential doubling down of certain subjects, be it history, geography, or whatever, well, then we have a body of work to do. Because, again, we can't ask teachers to engage in this process, to take on this body of work, to reform the junior cert, to change the model of education in their own schools, to bring in models in relation to sort of short courses and all that, if they feel at the very offset that there's a disconnect. So I would ask the Minister, I would ask the Department to re-engage with the secondary school system in whatever matter and means that may be. Yes, there are teacher unions. Yes, members of government have a responsibility for this. I believe there's cross-party support in this House for what the Minister is trying to achieve here. And again, there's a responsibility on us to encourage and to empower teachers to bring these issues forward. Because if you start off with a belief that this is not achievable, well then you're not going to believe in it. And we can't ask anybody to implement something they don't fundamentally believe in. I believe in it. I believe in what the Minister is doing. I know the Minister believes in it. I know this government believes in it. And I believe right across this House that people are accepting the bona fides of what the government are trying to do in relation to this matter. But we can't expect teachers to believe in it if we don't address their concerns, which I believe we will do. But we must take those concerns seriously and work with teachers to reform the junior cert for the benefit of students, which is the core of what we're trying to achieve. From Aodhan again,
Deputy Connaughton.
Thanks, Conn Comhairle.